Now, the president is a contestant in this election. The person that is supposed to complain of time is the electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission. They are not complaining. So one is at a loss as to why the president is the one worrying about time as against INEC, who should naturally worry about time. The 2011 Electoral Act, the Electoral Act Nigerians used to conduct 2011 election was signed into law about 3 months or thereabout to the election. Then in 2015, just 2 weeks to the election, that was when the Jonathan signed it. So this issue of timing, when we still had, as of today, is 64 days to that election. 64 days to election. So the issue of timing is worrisome. It's worrying us. It's worrying every democratic lover in Nigeria. That is there another thing behind it. Now you hear the supporters of President like Keyamo, the spokesperson of the presidential campaign organization, saying that quoting ECOWAS protocol. That is another aberration. ECOWAS protocol, Article 2, 1 of that ECOWAS protocol, so no substantial alteration shall be made. And lawyers will tell you there is no substantial alteration. What the National Assembly is trying to do is trying to legalize the use of card reader. And the ECOWAS protocol they are alluding to, saying without the consent of majority of the political stakeholders. If I'm not wrong, I think there are about 20 or more than presidential candidates going into this election. Only the president has found fault in this. So other stakeholders don't see the reason why. Obviously, is at the forefront. He has been calling out the president to do the right thing. That is yesterday, why she was signing the peace accord. She said it. Not signing this thing is corruption itself. Not signing this law is corruption itself.
Corruption itself.
Yes. Not signing this law is corruption itself.
Amade Edime, the coalition of civil society groups for justice has urged the president, Muhammadu Buhari, to set up an independent committee to investigate all corruption allegations against the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris.
Yeah.
And at the point, you vocally shouted it, that Ibrahim Idris, the Inspector General of Police, should no longer be in office.
That's right.
Now you are a politician and you are going for office. What are the things that you've noticed with this government that they are not getting right as it pertains to this electoral amendment bill?
Yeah, just like my colleague have just said. You see, I see the amended electoral bill as a way of reordering or making our existing political structure more credible. Not signing it is absolutely wrong, and it stands as anti-masses decision. But be that as it may, I have called for the resignation and the removal of the IG of police some times ago. I led the coalition of civil society because of a lot of abnormalities going on. And today, the major problem of Nigeria and Nigerians are the two major political parties. The leading political party, APC and PDP. Both will come to power and they lie to Nigerians. Before the emergence of this government, we were made to understand that when they come, Nigeria will be a clean heaven. But today, I don't know what is wrong in not taking a decision that will place us to look as a clean nation. Now, well, to me, whether they sign the current electoral bill or not, I will win election because I am of the people, by the people, and for the people. What is happening right now is just a fight of power. A lot of members of the National Assembly are crooked, they are now unpopular, they are not acceptable by their people, and a lot of them in government don't want Buhari to go because some are still stealing, looting, and doing all sorts of evil that we thought they were coming to correct. Today, we find ourselves in this serious quagmire. If not, an electoral act that will say it should have an improvement from the past. Why are you not signing it? Why are you not signing it? I am not contesting the integrity of the president, but he's taking too much of a political decision than a realistic position. Now, as a realist, I tell you what is the crux of the matter: the use of the card reader. The card reader and the
jettisoning of the incident
form. Now, for me, look at it in this way. If INEC is handling the election in its real genuine term, incident form is not a bad thing, because the card reader is produced by a human being, and we should give room for even some level of problems. The phone we use, the electronics we use today, sometimes get stuck in problem, but they take advantage of those things to rig elections. We've seen it in the past. They rig election. How can you conduct election in a place you have 2 million registered voters and you have 2 million people that vote in that election?
It means nobody died.
Nobody died. Nobody is sick. Nobody traveled in Kano State. You see, but you see, what goes around comes around. The likes of former governor of Kano State, Kwankwaso, who was part of the fraud that brought this government to power, is now crying foul because it's now the ball has been shifted to his side. Mark you, a lot of them in the National Assembly, they are not coming back. And they want to come back. If you want to make this type of law from the one that you enter the National Assembly, start working on it. Don't allow it to get to this point. One, the National Assembly have power to override the decision of the president, but they can't meet up the constitutional two-thirds majority.
Why do you think so?
Unfortunately, they are playing politics now, not playing Nigerian interest. Unfortunately. All of them are playing politics. If you come to say you are going against the president's power, they will use security to torment your election. Most of them are relying and flying on godfathers. They are not relying on God Almighty. They have no capacity to be there. They have no antecedent. They have no record. So they are just there by the grace of their godfathers. And the godfathers will direct them as such. So you can't meet up the two-thirds majority to really override the decision of the president. If not, they have done it since. They have sent it down 4 or 5 times, almost 4 times, and they cannot get anything out of it. They are overheating the polity.
All right, Amade, Edime, you are going for Senate from Kogi East. You seek to represent Kogi East, where Senator Idoko has consistently represented.
Yeah.
What makes you think you bring the goods better than Idoko?
Well, you see, I don't know how many times you have invited Idoko to programs like this. I don't know how many times he has appeared on television.
It is easier for me to see President Buhari than Idoko himself.
God bless you, because he has a lot of deficiency. You can't go to a match or a competition with your 4th and 5th level. The Igala nation is a very proud nation. The Igala man from time immemorial has been playing the front role in the Committee of Ethnic Nationality in Nigeria. Today we are bringing an Idoko who has spent 16 years without talking. A place you are going to talk to be paid for. A senator is supposed to be articulate. A senator is supposed to be vibrant. A senator is supposed to have antecedent. A senator is supposed to have regularly educated. Check this record. That is what I'm telling you about godfatherism. Now our people are tired of this level of godfatherism, and that is what happens everywhere in Nigeria. If you are going into a relay team, you can't bring a gurugu, a layman to carry your baton for you. You cannot get a trophy. So the challenge before us today is the battle between the have and have not, the battle between the rich and the poor, the battle between an ordinary man and the highly placed. Idoko have decided to just sit and take over our position through litigation. He has been having court cases from the one till now. Mind you, in this dispensation, we have had 3 senators from Kogi East. We have had Abdullahi Redwe, we have had Isaac Alpha. Idoko is there on his own. Court have removed him, he has refused to go. This time around, we want to tell him that the power of the people superior to the power of the godfather. I told you one of his godfather, Amade Ali. I went to meet Amade Ali, and he asked me to step down for Idoko. I said, for what? If Idoko is popular, we are taking the campaign to the market square. Let him come to Ejule market, Ayangba market, Ida market to do campaign. If he's not stoned, it means he's still popular.
Yeah, activists are not known to be successful politicians. What makes you think you'll be better than the rest of them?
I am a political activist. Now, there's a difference between a clear-cut activist, human rights activist, environmental activist, and political activist. Mind you, if an activist who was one-time president of Student Union and have not failed, the name posted after me when I left school, Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, an activist who did very well and have a title from a community called Ilaro, Ogun State. I'm that two illusion of Ilaro. An activist who does very well in Igalaland and His Royal Majesty, Atof Igala Ali Obaji, gave me a title, Onogwata, an activist that does very well in his own immediate community, and Onogume, His Royal Majesty, gave me a title, and the Inalogu Onegume Doga. So if I have 3 titles as a high chief, and I'm an activist, it means I've done a lot of humanitarian job. I've done a lot of things that affected the lives of the people, mind you. An activist who intervened in the affairs of students, and they return, WAEC overcharged my people 1,800 naira in year 2000. And they return 1,800 naira back to all the WAEC students that time. This is an activist that is bringing succor to the people. An activist that stopped the exploration of coal in Okaba coal mine for more than 8 years, because I demanded to know the environmental impact assessment. I demanded to know the cash policy, and they refused to present it to the people. Today, they are doing the exploration with carry costs to all those things. This is the same activist that is going to ask those questions. An activist that settled crisis in community. So I am a successful activist who owns a construction company, mind you. Employed over 150 staffs. And my people benefit from that.
So underlining all this is your hatred for injustice.
Hatred for injustice, lies, demonic lies. They will come and tell you.
Let me get back to Alozie on the Electoral Amendment Bill. That is the crux of the matter. Now, the Electoral Amendment Bill. How do you see that bill benefiting politicians like Amade Edime?
Very simple. If you listen to Bojabi Amila last night, the APC caucus leader in the House of Representatives, he said the only reason, this is the first time a high-ranking APC member is coming out to tell us the truth. So the only reason President Buhari refused his assent is because of the strict insistence in the act, that in the bill, that card readers are nothing but card readers will be used. He said, oh, depending on technology, we just do this. Say they don't want anybody to be disenfranchised. But he was there. He's the leader of the House of Representatives when this bill was being looked into, when this bill was being put together. He did not, neither did the APC caucus in the House of Reps, voice their dissent. Because if you, if you look at a report recently, last week, said that 42.5% of those who voted in 2015 did not go through the card reader. And out of this 42.5% represent 13.521 million voters. Out of these 13.521 million voters, 10.1 million of them voted in states President Buhari won. They didn't go through the card reader. The card reader will be useful to this my brother here, who is popular in his place, but doesn't belong to the two big political parties, in the sense that if you are not the owner of that owner of your PVC, you will not be accredited, because your PVC is authenticated through your fingerprint, and your fingerprint is exclusive to you. The moment you place your finger, because look at what happened in Kanu, for instance, in that 2015 election. Only about 900,000 people were captured through the card reader. The rest people, the rest 1.1 million or thereabout, never went through the card reader. That was why we witnessed the overwhelming voting by children, infant voters in Kanu. So what the card reader will do is, you have to come with your own PVC, and it will authenticate it through your finger, not even through your face,
and
through
the
your
provision
fingerprint.
is there that if it fails to authenticate it that time, election can be carried
Can be carried out the following, the following day. He said postpone the provision is that postpone the election by 24 hours. By then, INEC would have sorted it out. So look at, okay, what is the improvement? Now, when you, no matter what you say about Jonathan, when you remember Jonathan, you remember card reader. When you remember Jonathan, you remember the desire to leave behind a credible electoral process. What can President Buhari say we are going to use to remember him in terms of improving on election? He consistently claims that in the 3 previous elections he took part in and failed, he won. He was rigged out. Now, this is his opportunity. And let me remind you that in 2016, October precisely, the President Buhari set up the Nnamdi Electoral Reform Committee. The Nnamdi Electoral Reform Committee submitted their report in July of this year. Where is that input? And the prominent in the report of Nnamdi Committee is the use of technology. Go and read it. Prominent, yeah, the use of technology in improving our electoral process. It was boldly written there. So why is it that when the bill was going back and forth between the presidency and the National Assembly, why is it that the presidency did not take anything from the Nnamdi report to impute? If it was sincere. And another thing Nigerians don't understand, the politics being played is the president on his own. When people say, oh, National Assembly wasted time, fine. They started late and they wasted time, I agree. But the president wasted 120 days on his own. In each occasion that the bill was presented to the president will have to wait till the 30th day because he's allowed by law within 30 days to say no or yes. And this is a 21-page document that takes the president to on the evening of the 30th day is when the president will now find fault.
Page by page.
On the evening of the 30th day is when the president will find fault and reject it. First day, second day, including Saturday and Sunday. Because
so it shows some level of insincerity.
It shows some level of politics and insincerity. That's the thing. Why do you have to wait till the last day if you are desirous of, giving us a clean election? If you are desirous of giving us a very transparent, honest election. Because you have always made reference to the
candidate. But it takes us back. Why didn't Jonathan impute all this and sign then?
No. What happened?
There were arguments that Nigeria was not ready for technological.
That was the argument then.
During Jonathan's
time. But there is this clause in this electoral that gives INEC the leeway to use every technological device they deem fit
in their act.
In the existing act. But what happens is that what Nigerians want is that legalization of the use of card reader. Because it's there in the Supreme Court pronouncement, both in Lagos, in Rivers State, and in any place. Because they say in Rivers State, APC went to court during the Rivers State election that only about 350,000 voters were captured through the card reader. Yes, this weekend's election. Out of over 1 million. Yeah. Now, the Supreme Court said, yes, it may be true, but card reader is unknown to law and cannot be relied on to question the integrity of the election. That's exactly what Nigerians say. Okay, just legalize this. It's not as if it's not being used before. Just legalize it and remove this incident from. So what we are saying now is this. Why, if the president has been very desirous of giving us a clean, clear, transparent election, the president would have been the first person to even send the executive bill to the National Assembly to say, do this, do that. And it pains me when Nigerians say...
Now, when he returns the electoral bill back to the National Assembly, any imputes, has it been noted that he imputed anything?
Nothing. There has never been any impute from the executive. Never.
Amade, Edime, if anybody had told you that President Buhari will come into power, to office, and not do what he promised, would you
I will never believe.
Now, what makes your case different?
Yeah. You see, I have a background different from Buhari. Buhari was a soldier, a general, somebody who take power through the muzzles of the gun. I have never taken power through riot or through chaos. Now, a man that is used to taking power through this means, it takes the intervention of Holy Ghost to change him. Now, though, I have not even seen a qualified person among the two of them, the two major players.
Two leading
major players.
Presidential aspirants.
I tell you sincerely, unfortunately. But we don't have option than to pick one out of these two people, which is very difficult for somebody like me to even think who to pick. Because the level of belief I had for my president and what we are having as a payback is unfortunate, except otherwise something happens. But as it is, I don't know that Messiah that is still better than him. That is the unfortunate part of the whole show. Because the same rogues that we saw that dealt with Nigerians are the same rogues that are forming the major opposition. The people that claim to be angels are now seen as Lucifer. So we are in serious quagmire. But being this as it may, it's really unfortunate that if we are not careful with this serious clandestine plot to rig through the same formula that was there during Good Luck. Mind you, what we are going to have is the same thing we have during Good Luck, Jonathan. Maybe the criminals that are in this group now are thinking that they are stronger than those in the other camp. If not, the same system, card readers and the same, they used to rig election. You must be popular in a place to rig election, mind you.
That's true.
You cannot rig me, I'm on the ground. If they dare, they will meet their Waterloo. So if you are popular, don't be afraid. The same group of people that joined forces to bring in Buhari are now crying foul. They should wait to see the end of the matter. I am not saying that what we are having is the best, but it's the same thing we have then that we used to bring in Buhari. So if you are popular, don't be afraid. We are going to correct these things if we emerge. I was telling somebody, mind you, 58 of the members of the Senate are not coming back because they don't have...
They lost primaries?
Yes, they don't have tickets in all political parties. The 41 of them that have tickets in different political parties, 50% of them may not come back, which means they will not have 33 members as odd member in the next assembly.
But that affects the legislature because
of who set us, we are which inexperience. What experience do they have? How many of them are reading books? Do they even read the constitution that they promulgate or they made? They are not making constitution. Lawyers are hired to write for them to read. We don't know Nigeria in 1999. Were there old senators in that house? Are you saying that we are getting better than that time upon what we are seeing today? They are legislating for their pocket. So we are going to set aside a lot of draconian bylaws, orders, and whatever nonsense they have there. We are going to have the senators of the people, by the people, for the people. We are going to have the members of House of Reps of the people, by the people, for the people. See, we are in serious evolution and revolution. God is aware of what is happening to Nigeria. A lot of things are going to change. And we must be ready to take it painfully. Well, it's unfortunate the president is not meeting up to my own expectation on the issue of integrity. Nevertheless, we must be careful so that the excessive looting will not continue. And this one happening now, even the president will be shocked. They may think that they are going to have majority in the next assembly. Watch what is going to happen. A lot of people are coming from all minority parties who gang up to form a better Nigeria. Watch what is going to happen. I have said it before, like a son of the prophet. I am the son of the prophet, it will happen again.
One of the basic criteria for being a politician or a leader in Nigeria, perhaps some will say, is your ability to be shameless.
Yeah.
Yeah, many of our politicians and leaders and elders all seem shameless. Do you have that trait?
Well, I'm shameful if it becomes an issue of corruption. I go into politics based on a rule I am a Christian. James chapter 1:27 in the Bible and Surah 1:27, coloration, says true religion, unspotted, is to fight for the less privileged, the downtrodden, and the have-not. We are created the same, but not given the power to operate same, for all fingers are not equal. Now, if they say politicians are shameless, these are those that does not know God. You are supposed to be shameful, doing what is evil. You are supposed to bury your head on the ground. Now, you are supposed to be shameful as a politician. When, yes, if you are going down, you are not doing the will of the people, and you have done all your best, you can't get result, resign. But
can you resign?
I can resign. They gave me appointment in Kogi State as a special advisor to the governor. I evaluated the characters of the governor, the then Captain Wada. I discovered going to work with this man, I will soil my name because of the environment. I turned down the appointment. I can resign. I have done it before. Now you are not supposed to be shameful when it becomes the issue of the people. When it becomes the issue of the masses. No matter what it will cost you, please do. For we have seen it, that a man died openly, crucified for the sake of mankind. So we should toe the line of the prophets and not to be given in to all that can go. For some, it's not everything that is sweet that is good to eat. But a lot of our politicians consume all manners. They don't know it can cause dysentery. A lot of them go to their houses. They have one imbecile giving birth to imbecile. You see, reactions like this put us on our toes.
Yes.
That is the democracy. Now, I am not expecting everybody to praise me. Such, the president should not equally expect everybody to praise him. The way I'm talking, I'm not saying that Buhari is absolutely bad, but we expected very high result from him. Of course, if not for nothing, there's fear that if you steal money, you'll be caught and be dealt with. It's one of the achievements, I tell you sincerely. I'm not saying that Buhari is absolutely bad, but I'm telling you that our expectation is higher than what we are seeing. Well, that is that. Put me in power. They will not get what I am saying. But a lot of them in power have no antecedents. They have no record. They have no... I mean, how can you pray to be... You cannot get NYC certificate through prayers. You must pass through a process. We have passed through process of leadership. You don't just go and pick somebody from somewhere and bring him to leadership. You will not understand the rudiment. We're not playing game on the radio. We are on the field. Let's get there.